If you want to fix your fatigue and get your energy back, it's probably not due to a lack of testing or a lack of trying. It's that people typically are asking the wrong questions first. People typically get so overwhelmed chasing labs and supplements and protocols when there is really one simple question that really matters. And that question is your body in a state of building tissues or breaking them down? And by the end of this video, you will understand how looking at just two of our steroid hormones, cortisol and DHEA, can give you deep insight into your overall physiological state. And more importantly, it can help you to simplify what to work on first so that you can get your health back on track. Too often, people get lost in a minefield of testing. I mean, they're racing off into mold panels and parasite cleanses, organic acids. And while all of these have their place, they pale in importance compared to even a far more basic question. And that basic question is your body prioritizing growth and healing and repair, or survival and breakdown and tissue destruction? Because that's where cortisol and DHEA come in. Think of them like a teeter-totter, the ones we used to play on in the playground when we were kids. When one side goes up, the other comes down. Cortisol and DHEA work much the same way. And once you understand this relationship, a lot of confusing symptoms begin to make sense. My name is Scott Resnick. I'm a physician and I've spent over 30 years practicing medicine. I'm making these videos to give you guys a systems-based approach so that you can turn complex biology into actionable steps to restore your health without using prescription drugs. Cortisol and DHEA are foundational hormones in the health systems pyramid. You'll see that they sit soundly on the second tier because when these hormones come back into balance, the more dependent, complex systems above them, things like our gut function, our immunity, our ability to detoxify, our sex hormones, our brain, our cognition, our cardiac health, these all stabilize as well. So even though we live in a modern world, our biology hasn't changed much. I mean, we are in so many ways still apes. Our physiology evolved for a very different environment, one without electric light and 24-hour stresses and constant food. For most of human history, life was defined by cycles of feast and famine. There were infrequent times of abundance when we could build tissue and grow muscle and reproduce and heal. There were probably longer periods where food was scarce, and survival meant breaking down our tissue stores to stay alive. We fattened up when our food was plentiful because we never knew when the starvation of their shoe was going to drop. Because of that, our bodies learn to prioritize energy carefully. When cortisol is low and DHEA is high, we are in a building state. When our stress is low and we have resources available, we can fix our tissues, we can build muscle, we can support our reproductive hormones like testosterone and estrogen. We build muscles with testosterone and DHT. We ovulate, we make sperm, and ideally we reproduce, hopefully perpetuating our genes into another generation. DHEA sits at the headwaters of what we refer to as the anabolic or building hormones. All steroid hormones begin with cholesterol, which is first converted into pregnenolone, and from there the pathway splits towards DHEA on one side and cortisol on the other. Now let's get back to that playground teeter-totter, because when cortisol is high, the body shifts into a survival state, which makes perfect sense. Cortisol breaks down our muscles, our bone, our fat. It melts our body to release energy to keep us alive. Blood flow is shunted away from the gut. Stomach acid is suppressed. I mean, why make digestive enzymes and why deliver blood to our gut if we can't find food and we aren't eating? Cortisol breaks down our muscle into individual amino acids that can be used elsewhere, like making other essential proteins and our neurotransmitters. Our bones are weakened and broken down to liberate minerals like calcium and magnesium and zinc. And cortisol suppresses thyroid function at multiple levels. When cortisol remains high, the body predictably shifts towards a hypothyroid state. That trade-off is built into our genetics because if you're trying to survive a long winter with limited food, It makes sense to accept a lower basal body temperature, foggy thinking, constipation, cold hands and feet, crappy moods, and a non-existent libido in exchange for staying alive a little longer till the bunnies and the berries come back. Ideally, we live somewhere in the middle. The teeter-totter is in balance, not unbalanced to one side or the other. I mean, even at my age, which is 63, I am working to keep that balance tilted more towards growth, and I hope that you are too. And this is why sequencing and thinking strategically matter. It's not that these more esoteric tests are wrong. It's just that you first need to focus on the essential foundations of how your body is working. Clinically, when I see the classic constellation of fatigue, low thyroid function, loss of strength, poor gut health, and signs of chronic stress, I'm rarely surprised to see low DHEAS on salivary testing. The pattern fits. So where are you on that spectrum? Knowing your cortisol and DHEA status is a crucial foundational step. By understanding, measurizing, and stabilizing this critical second layer of the health systems pyramid, and understanding how cortisol and thyroid and insulin work together collectively, the energy and fatigue picture becomes so much clearer. And of course, we can't forget sound nutrition is still cemented into the foundation of the pyramid, because we need adequate minerals and vitamins, micronutrients, macronutrients, phytonutrients, just to make the machinery work. I believe that by clarifying science like this and helping individuals just like you to understand your own biology better, we can move towards a healthier society that relies less on pharmaceuticals and more on drug-free, informed self-care. So where do you think you stand on a functional health scale? I built a free, simple, 2-minute self-assessment that's listed in the description below. This is going to give you insight into your current state of health, because when you know where you're starting from, you can finally build a plan that's based in systems to begin getting better.